Hello, I'd like to introduce PathoStain Insight, an immunohistochemistry web app for pathology diagnosis. I'm Haran Xia. This is a summary of the project I finished this semester. Let's start with introduction. This is a solo project, so I am the only team member. I was responsible for front-end, back-end, database, and deployment. For this project, we'll be focusing on immunohistochemistry, or IHC. IHC plays a critical role in surgical pathology, but the information load for pathologists has increased substantially in recent years. There are existing resources for IHC interpretation, but querying complex stain combinations remains challenging. And this project, PathoStain Insight, aims to address this gap. So PathoStain Insight allows pathologists to query an IHC database through a web app that is seamlessly integrated into existing workflow. Next, let's look at the implementation status. So here's a table summarizing all the tasks that were designed at the beginning of the semester. As we can see, all of them have been completed, so there's no pending task. Both at the beginning and during the project, I performed some research. One of them is immunohistochemistry. To build the IHC database, we need a data source. All the data was from the pathologyoutlines.com. And for this project, due to the limited time, I was focusing on diseases related to salivary glands only. Another type of research was Smart on Fire. So I had challenges with the Smart App Launcher as well as passing patient information across different pages. So with the help of my mentor, I was able to overcome those two barriers by following existing examples. And next, I would like to have a demo of PathoStain Insight. So we can access the web app by using a browser. So in the browser, we can type the URL to the web app, which is pathostain.versal.app. Once clicking the URL or once typing the URL, will be directed to a page for patient selection. So let's say that we are going to work on this patient. So we can select this patient, and then it's requesting for authorization. This app need the read permission for the patient and also the encounter. Also requesting read and write a permission for the information on the diagnostic report because we are going to both read and also add new diagnostic reports. So that's why we would like to have both read and write permissions. So we need to approve in order to proceed. So we can approve the request and then we'll be directed to the home page of a PathoStain Insight. This is the home page, which shows the diagnostic report. So at the top of the page, we have our logo and also the navigation menu, such as the home and also other functions. And to the right, we have the patient information, such as the name, the gender, and also the date of birth. And on the home page, which shows a diagnostic report, it summarizes all the diagnostic reports available in the EHR system for this particular patient. And we can see there are diagnostic conclusions, the date and time for the diagnosis. If the diagnosis have been updated later on, then when the update occurred, that's the status of the diagnosis. So let's say we'd like to start working on this patient based on the stain lab results. So we can go ahead and add a new diagnostic report. This can be done by clicking the button at the bottom of this page to add a new diagnostic report. Alternatively, we can hit the menu at the top of the page, add a diagnostic report. So we can do it either way. So let's do it by clicking the button at the bottom of the page. So once clicking the button, then we'll be brought to this page. This page is for adding new diagnostic report. So it has two lists on both sides. And it should be noted that if this is your first time to visit this page, it may take up to 50 seconds to load this page because the server may go into idle and it may take about 50 seconds, or usually much less than that, to wake up the backend server. So if that is the case, please be patient and wait for a bit more before this page can be fully loaded. Now, once it is fully loaded, then we can see two lists of the stains. They are actually identical, but on the left side, this is the list for the positive stains, and on the right is the list for the negative stains. So we need to select the type of stains, either positive or negative, based on the lab results. Let's say that the lab results says that we have a one positive stain for AE1, AE3, and also we have a negative stain for actin. And we can select those two. And at least one of those types of stain needs to be selected before the submit button is enabled. So as we can see here, we have two selected, so this button is available. So we can go ahead and click submit. And then what it's doing right now is that it's querying the database and to find the dances that match the types of stain that we have selected. So based on our input of the type of stains, and then our web app says that there are two dances that match our selection, and we need to select one of out of those two based on other information, such as their morphology in the microscope or the molecular information. And then once we are certain from other evidence, then we need to select the diagnosis. Let's say that it is the first one. And also we need to confirm our status, the status for this diagnosis. And let's say that it is a preliminary. And once the diagnosis and status are selected, then this button becomes available so that we can confirm our diagnosis. And by clicking this button, this new diagnosis is going to be added to this patient's record. So let's confirm. And as we can see, after clicking confirm button, the new diagnosis which we added just now is available in this diagnostic report page, which is actually the home page as well. And the status is preliminary. And if we'd like to change the status, let's say we have more evidence and we would like to make it to final, then we can change the status to final by using this drop-down list. So once we click final, and then we can see that the last update time is also changed, which is no longer the date and time as the diagnosis. This is the major function of the PathoStain Insight. That is to view diagnostic report of the patient and also to add diagnostic report based on the types of stain available. The other major function is called the diagnosis research. Sometimes a physician may not be certain about some very similar diagnosis, and he or she would like to perform more study to investigate the types of stains for those. What he or she can do is to click the diagnosis research page, and then in this page, a list of all the diagnoses available in the database will be brought up. It is a long list, so as a result, it's also we can scroll up and down to see the entire list. Let's say we are not certain about these two types of diseases, so basal cell adenocarcinoma and basal cell adenoma. So we can select those two, and then we can check the stains for those two diagnoses. So let's compare. After querying the database, this page is displayed. So it's showing the positive stain types and negative stain types for those two diagnoses. So we can take a closer look to see what the differences are in terms of stain types for those two diagnoses. And also we can compare other diagnoses. So we can click this page, then reselect the diseases so that we can compare. Let's say that we are interested in the top three. We would like to know the differences in the stain types for those three diagnoses. So we can click those diagnoses, then we can check the stain types, and then it's going to query the database, and then here are the results. These are the two major functions for PathoStain Insight. And let's say that we have finished work with this particular patient, and then we can change it to a different patient. So we can click this button, change patient. And then let's say that we would like to work on this patient, and then we can select this one. It's requesting our authorization, then we can approve, and then it brings us back to this page. And again, it's the home page, just similar to the one that we have seen before. We can see that there are two diagnoses that we have been working on earlier today, and that's why they're showing up here. I have demonstrated all the major functions of this web app, and thank you so much. Last but not the least, let's talk about the future work. The first one is to expand the IHC database to cover other types of diseases. Due to the limited time and resources, the current database only covers the diseases of the salivary gland. And if there's more time, I would like to expand that to other diseases as well. If there's more time, I'd like to add a new function. Currently, pathologists may order a lot of type of stains to differentiate diagnosis. So I'd like to add a new function to identify the minimal set of stains needed for differential diagnosis, which will help to save cost. This is the end of the presentation. Thank you very much for your time.